They say aging begins quietly, not in the mirror, but in your legs. The day you start finding the stairs a little steeper, the walk from the kitchen to the garden a little heavier, that's not just fatigue. It's your body whispering, slow down, something's changing. Many people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s don't realize this. The first sign of decline isn't memory loss or wrinkles. It's the slow fading of muscle strength in the legs. When the legs weaken, balance falters, blood flow reduces, and independence starts to slip away. But here's the hopeful part. The body is incredibly responsive. Even at 80, your muscles listen to what you feed them. The right foods can rebuild what time has quietly taken, not through magic, but through nourishment, patience, and consistency. So today we ask, what if you could strengthen your legs again and keep walking strong, steady, and free, no matter your age? Welcome back, everyone. I'm John, and today we're joined by the legendary Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara to talk about why leg strength is truly where life begins and where decline can quietly start. Dr. Hinohara, you often said that movement is the language of life. Why do our legs weaken first, and what does that really mean for our health?
The legs are our foundation, both physically and symbolically. They carry us through every chapter of life. When we stop moving, we stop circulating life itself. After 60, we naturally lose muscle because the body prioritizes survival over strength. But weakness isn't inevitable. Nutrition can rewrite the story. Protein-rich foods like fish, eggs, tofu, they rebuild muscle fibers. Magnesium from leafy greens, calcium from small fish or sesame, potassium from bananas. These minerals talk directly to your nerves and muscles. And omega-3s from sardines or mackerel reduce inflammation that silently eats away at leg strength. In Japan, we say, the legs feed the heart. Strong legs mean a strong spirit. So eat wisely, walk daily, and never stop using the gift of movement. The moment you stop walking is the moment you start aging.
Dr. Hinohara, you've often said that aging doesn't begin where most people think it does. We look for it in our faces, our hair, even our memory. But you say it starts somewhere much deeper, much earlier. Could you explain what you mean when you say aging begins in the legs?
Yes, John. People rarely notice it, but the legs are the quietest messengers of time. Before the eyes dim, before the heart slows, before memory begins to blur, the legs begin to whisper that change is coming. You can see it in small moments, the stairs that feel taller, the walk to the garden that takes a few more breaths, the simple act of standing up that once felt effortless but now demands thought. These aren't just signs of tiredness. They're the body's way of saying, don't neglect your foundation. The legs carry our blood upward, keep our balance steady, and anchor our independence. When they weaken, everything else begins to follow. The heart pumps less efficiently, the brain receives less oxygen, and confidence quietly fades. I've met many elderly people who didn't stop walking because they grew old. They grew old because they stopped walking. In Japan, we see the legs not just as limbs, but as roots. If the roots weaken, the tree cannot stand tall, and yet this is not a hopeless truth. The beauty of the human body is that it listens to attention. If you nourish your muscles with protein, if you walk even a few minutes every day, if you stretch your calves and rise on your toes like a child again, the legs begin to wake up. It's never too late. The body forgives consistency. When you strengthen your legs, you're not just training muscles, you're keeping the whole body young, alert, and alive. Every strong step is a message to life itself, that you're still here, still moving, still growing.
Dr. Hinohara, so many people in their 60s or 70s believe it's too late to rebuild strength. They think that once muscle is lost, it's gone forever. But you often remind us that the body still listens, even at that age. How true is that? Can we really rebuild ourselves through food, even late in life?
Yes, John. The body never stops listening. It may grow quieter with time, but it never stops responding. I've seen people in their 80s regain strength they thought they had lost forever, not through miracle pills or heavy workouts, but through simple, intentional nourishment. The body is a living memory of what we feed it. Every cell in your muscles is rebuilt from the food you eat, and even at 70 or 80, those cells still renew. The problem is not age, and it's neglect. When you start giving your body real food, rich in proteins, minerals, and natural energy, it begins to rebuild itself from the inside out. When you eat fish, eggs, tofu, beans, you are sending the muscles raw material to repair their own walls. To add to that, the trace minerals from leafy greens, sesame, and fruits, and you give your nerves and blood vessels the tools to communicate again. It's a quiet miracle that never stops, no matter how old you are. I tell my patients, your body doesn't count birthdays and it counts nourishment. The muscles don't know your age. They only know your habits. In Japan, many older people eat small portions, but often they never starve their muscles. A bowl of miso soup with tofu, a piece of grilled fish, a handful of greens. These small meals are like whispers that say to the body, keep repairing, keep living. Nutrition is not about diet. It's about respect. When you eat with awareness and gratitude, even the simplest food becomes medicine. The body listens, forgives, and begins again, no matter what the calendar says.
Dr. Hinohara, many people think exercise alone keeps their legs strong, but you often emphasize that what we eat is just as important, maybe even more. Could you explain why feeding our muscles matters just as much as moving them?
That's a very important question, John. You see, muscles are like loyal workers. They can move mountains for you, but only if they are properly fed. Many people walk, stretch, even lift weights, yet their legs still feel weak, their energy still low. Why? Because movement burns energy, but food builds the structure. Without nourishment, it's like asking a craftsman to build a house with no wood or tools. The legs are built from what we eat. Proteins are the bricks, minerals are the mortar, and vitamins are the quiet messengers that keep the builders working. When you give your muscles the right materials, they grow stronger even from the smallest movement. Protein from fish, eggs, beans, and tofu repairs the tiny tears that exercise creates in the muscle fibers. Magnesium from green vegetables keeps the nerves firing smoothly, so the muscles don't cramp or shake. Calcium from small fish, milk, or sesame keeps the bones strong enough to hold the weight the muscles create. And potassium from fruits like bananas or oranges helps your body balance fluids so that blood and oxygen flow freely to the legs. Each nutrient plays a part in this silent orchestra of movement. In Japan, we often say, you cannot move a hungry muscle. It's a reminder that strength is not built by willpower alone. Even the simplest meals, if eaten with regularity and care, can restore what years have taken away. When you sit down to eat, think of your legs, your balance, your ability to rise and walk freely. Every bite is a message to your body that you still wish to move, still wish to live. Feed your muscles with kindness, and they will carry you with grace for many years to come.
Dr. Hinohara, you often talk about the quiet power of anti-inflammatory foods like sardines, mackerel, and other omega-3 sources. Many people don't realize how deeply inflammation affects muscle health and leg strength. Could you help us understand why these foods matter so much, especially as we age?
Yes, John. Most people think of inflammation as something that happens when you're injured or sick. But the truth is, silent inflammation lives in many older bodies without pain or warning. It's like a slow fire that never fully burns out. Over time, that fire weakens the very muscles we depend on to walk, climb, and stand. It stiffens the joints, damages small blood vessels, and quietly steals flexibility. You don't feel it right away, but one day, you realize your legs don't lift as easily. Your balance feels uncertain, and even a short walk feels heavier than it should. Omega-3 fatty acids are like water poured on that hidden fire. When we eat fish like sardines, mackerel, or salmon, those oils become part of our cell membranes. They calm the immune response that causes inflammation and allow blood to flow freely again. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reach the muscles, helping them recover faster and stay alive longer. It's not only about the legs, it's about the health of every cell that keeps us moving. In Japan, many elders still eat small portions of oily fish daily, often grilled simply with salt or cooked with vegetables. They don't think of it as medicine. They think of it as balance. And that's what omega-3s bring. Balance between inflammation and healing, between breakdown and renewal. If you replace processed oils and fried foods with fish, nuts, or even a drizzle of flaxseed oil, the body begins to cool down from the inside. The legs feel lighter, the joints move with more freedom, and you begin to sense youth returning not from outside but from within. Food can't stop aging, but it can slow the fire that burns strength away.
Dr. Hinohara, you often say that movement is the language of life. It's such a beautiful idea, but for many older adults, movement starts to feel painful or tiring, so they begin to slow down. How do you explain this philosophy, that movement itself keeps us alive?
John, when I say movement is the language of life, I mean that the body speaks through action. Every step, every stretch, every breath is the body's way of saying, I'm still here. When we stop moving, we silence that language. The blood slows, the muscles shrink, and the heart forgets its rhythm. The body is not meant to be still for long. It is designed for gentle motion. Even the smallest actions, like rising from a chair without using your hands or standing on one leg while brushing your teeth, remind the body to stay awake. In Japan, many elderly people move constantly, but not through exercise as we think of it. They garden, they cook, they clean their homes, they walk to the market. These are not workouts. They are ways of staying connected to life. When the legs move, the heart pumps stronger. Oxygen flows to the brain and mood brightens. You see, movement doesn't only strengthen muscles, it keeps the mind clear and the spirit light. People often ask me, what kind of movement should I do? And I tell them, the one that makes you smile. If walking feels peaceful, walk. If stretching feels freeing, stretch. The secret is to move every day without thinking of it as a task. Because the moment you stop moving, your body begins to forget how to live. Movement is not about fitness. It's about maintaining the dialogue between your body and your soul. Keep walking, keep bending, keep reaching, and you'll find that the body stays young not because of time, but because it never stopped speaking its native language. Movement.
Dr. Hinohara, there's a beautiful Japanese saying you often share. The legs feed the heart. It sounds poetic, but it also feels deeply biological. Could you explain what this truly means, both in science and in spirit?
Yes, John, that phrase has guided me through much of my life. When we say the legs feed the heart, we are speaking about more than anatomy. We're describing a truth about how movement sustains emotion, energy, and purpose. The legs are not just tools for walking. They are pumps for the entire body. When you move your legs, you push blood upward, bringing oxygen to the heart and brain. This circulation keeps your heart young and your mind alive. The heart depends on the legs far more than we realize. When the legs weaken, the heart must work harder, and over time, even the spirit begins to feel tired. In my years of practice, I noticed that older people who walk every day, as even slowly, stay mentally sharper and emotionally brighter. Their hearts beat with rhythm, not strain. Their faces glow with quiet strength. Movement doesn't only build muscle. It keeps joy flowing. When your legs carry you to the places you love, a park, a friend's home, the ocean, they feed the heart with experiences, connection and gratitude. In Japan, elders often take short morning walks, not as exercise but as a ritual of appreciation. They walk to thank their legs for carrying them another day. That gratitude itself becomes medicine. The body listens to kindness. When we move with awareness and respect, the heart feels supported both physically and emotionally. So yes, the legs truly feed the heart, with blood, with breath, with courage. The more you walk, the more your heart remembers why it's beating, not just to survive, but to live fully one step at a time.
Dr. Hinohara, you often end your talks with a simple but powerful message: never stop walking. For many older listeners, that sounds both inspiring and challenging. Could you help us understand what that phrase truly means beyond just physical movement?
John, when I say never stop walking, I am not only talking about the act of moving your feet. I'm talking about the rhythm of life itself. Walking is one of the simplest, most natural things we do, but it is also one of the most profound. Every step keeps your blood flowing, your heart working, and your spirit connected to the world. When people grow older, they often begin to shrink their world. They walk less, go out less, and slowly stop engaging with life. The legs weaken, yes, but so does curiosity, joy, and courage. That is when aging truly begins. Not when the body changes, but when movement stops. In Japan, you'll often see elderly people walking early in the morning, even in winter. They walk slowly, sometimes with a cane, but they move. They bow to the neighbors, greet the sunrise, and keep their bodies awake. It's not exercise to them. It's life continuing. One step after another, like breathing. That gentle, steady motion keeps the blood moving. sends oxygen to the brain and helps digestion, balance, even sleep. But more than the physical benefits, walking gives a person a sense of independence, the simple pride of being able to go where you wish, when you wish. That independence feeds the heart. I remember an old woman I once treated in her late 90s. Every morning, she walked to the local shrine about 10 minutes away. When I asked her why she did it even on rainy days, she smiled and said, "If I can walk, it means I am still living. That truth has never left me." Walking is not only about keeping the legs strong. It's about telling life, I still belong here. Even if you can't walk far, walk a little. If you can't go outside, walk inside your home. Take a few steps after every meal. Rise from your chair more often than you sit. The body learns what it repeats, and walking teaches it resilience. Each step sends a quiet message to the heart and brain that says, we are still growing, still moving forward. Never stop walking, because the moment you stop, the body begins to forget how to live. Movement is memory, and walking is the simplest way to remind your body of youth, balance, and joy. You don't need strength. You only need intention. Keep walking, not just for health, but for meaning. Every step, no matter how small, is a promise to yourself that life still flows through you. One quiet, beautiful step at a time.
Listening to you, Dr. Hinohara, I can't help but feel how deeply connected everything is. Movement, food, emotion, purpose. We often look for complicated answers to staying young, yet what you remind us of is profoundly simple. The body wants to live. It asks only that we keep moving, keep nourishing it, keep appreciating the small miracles of being alive. It's humbling, really, how the secret to longevity might just be found in the rhythm of our steps, in a bowl of simple food, in the quiet gratitude for one more morning.
John, life is not a race to stay young. It is a dance to stay present. Longevity is not measured in years, but in how deeply we live each day. When we walk, we remind the earth that we are still part of it. When we eat slowly with gratitude, we remind our body that we care. When we speak kindly and stay curious, we keep the spirit young. Health is not the absence of illness. It is the presence of harmony. A strong heart, calm breath, clear mind. These are not things we chase. They are things we nurture moment by moment. Even at 90 or 100, the body listens to love. The legs listen to motion. The mind listens to hope. If we stop moving, stop learning, stop giving, we begin to fade. Not because of age, but because we've stopped communicating with life itself. So my advice is simple. Keep walking even when it's slow. Keep eating foods that are alive, not processed. Keep sharing laughter, even if your voice shakes. Every day do one small thing that reminds you you're still growing. That is the true secret to longevity.
That's so beautiful, Doctor. Movement, nourishment, gratitude, connection, the 4 quiet medicines of a long, meaningful life. Thank you, as always, for sharing your wisdom and warmth.
Thank you, John, and thank you to everyone listening, and take care of your body. It's your lifelong companion.
If today's conversation inspired you, take a moment to subscribe, share this episode, and join us again next week as we continue exploring the timeless art of living well. Until then, keep walking and keep living gently.